recording left on Deadpool, and I suddenly get a text from Blake, and she sent a little video saying, I'm doing this thing, need a score. Can you deliver it in a week? And I said, I don't think a week, but maybe three if we have three. So that materialized, and yeah, so it was sequential. Was able to kind of.
Hey, besties, it's a scandal. A scandal's popped off all over the internet because Judge Lyman unsealed evidence or exhibits that have been provided to court as a part of motions filed by both the Wayfair parties and Blake. Some of these were contracts, some of these were declarations that had previously been sealed, some of them were related to attorney-client privilege logs. One of them was related to an audio recording that Blake has been promoting through her filings as statements that were made by Steve Sarowitz about her and her husband, about how he was going to spend $100 million to destroy her and defend Wayfair against her, and he would do everything in his power, and it would be like Israel and Hamas, and there would be all kinds of dead people on the floor or something. This quote has been referenced numerous times by Blake. We now find out via a declaration that was unsealed by someone named Claire Ayub that this recording was made between Claire and Steve Sarowitz. And it was related to what Claire says was a conversation she had with Steve about the promotion of Claire's film Empire Waste. And Claire, in her declaration, claimed that she was recording the call with Steve because she feared Steve would pressure her over her decision to exclude Justin from the promotion of Empire Waste, which debuted in theaters in September of 2024. Blake had Claire file this declaration, along with, at the very end of the declaration, Claire said that she was going to be providing a true and correct copy of this audio recording that was provided through Discovery, where Blake shared this in Discovery, meaning that this was provided to Blake without a subpoena. So Claire provided this to Blake. So when it was unsealed, people on Reddit realized, well, when I go there, all it says was electronic document or electronic audio recording filed under seal. Naturally, the inquisitive people from all over the place in media contacted the court and wanted to know how they could get their hands on this audio recording. Well, the problem with audio recordings is that the system of e-file in the federal court doesn't support audio or video. So you have a couple options of submitting this kind of evidence to the court. All right. So you have to either submit this via a secured link, a PDF link where there's a link of a WAV file that the court and the public can click on to hear it. Or you can deliver like a thumb drive or a CD of whatever this is to the judge and provide it to the judge in the judge's chambers. When they filed their motion, they told the court that they were providing it to the court. However, it turns out that they never did. And the judge provided and ruled this morning that Blake must turn over this audio and provide a means to get this to the public. So it says the court has received inquiries from the public regarding Exhibit 1 to Plaintiff Blake Lively's motion for fees and damages under California Civil Code Section 47.1, which the court previously ordered unsealed. The court has been informed that the exhibits cannot be filed on the public docket as the electronic case filing system does not support audio files. The court therefore requests the parties' assistance in publicly releasing the file. The parties are directed to file a joint letter by October 17th, 2025. People from Reddit were speaking about this in the It Ends With Us lawsuits subreddit, and then there's also the Team Justin Baldoni subreddit. And according to the people that called the court, they were told that they didn't have the audio at all. And the reason why it couldn't be released is because they didn't have it. So what the judge is telling them is that we can't upload what we do not have. So you need to provide us with assistance about how we can release this because I unsealed it. It's pretty odd that when she filed this, she didn't attach this. So there's not a link that they can share. They didn't upload anything. There's no audio file. There's nothing at the court right now. And so what that means is despite what her attorneys told the court, Ezra also filed a motion and said that she was filing this under seal. He never received the evidence that she said she was submitting to the court. It's could be very sloppy in terms of them just forgetting. It could be due to the new system where things that are filed under seal are supposed to be exchanged between parties. I mean, it could be a small technical error, you guys, because you can't just file an audio recording into the system. The system doesn't allow direct uploads of audio or video files. So there's a very clear procedure for how to handle it. You either have to send a secure digital link that the court and opposing counsel can access, or you physically lodge the file with the clerk's office and file a notice confirming that you did. And Blake's team did neither of those things. What they did was they filed a motion, swore that the recording was attached, and then they left it at that. Then they filed a placeholder page that went onto the record, but no audio ever reached the court. So this means that not only has the public not seen it, but the court has not heard it or seen it. It's never been reviewed. It's never been in the possession of the court. And yet Blake's motion is relying on this as supposed evidence to support her claims. So it's now like, more than a month later, and these documents are unsealed, and he ruled they should be unsealed, and he's saying it needs to be public. And I need to be able to upload this because of this order, but it doesn't exist. And you need to give it to me. And you need to tell me how you're going to give it to me by Friday. He's having them do a joint letter, which, is interesting because this was Blake's evidence, but he's giving both sides an opportunity to, I guess, work together and figure out how they're going to provide this to the court. It could have literally been something as simple as a technical error, but another explanation could also be that it was deliberate. So by referencing the audio, they can make it sound like the proof exists. And I believe it does, but they can shape a narrative and they can say, hey, like Brian Friedman says they have receipts. Well, we have receipts too. But if they don't hand it over, no one, not the judge, not the defense, not the public, can check what's really on it. And they can describe the recording however they want, confident that no one else is going to hear it. And that's what makes this manipulative if it is deliberate, because her lawyers then tell the court in writing that this audio was submitted. The language is being submitted as Exhibit 1. That's definitive. It wasn't just like a hypothetical. It isn't a promise to provide it later. It was literally, here it is. And it's already attached, but it wasn't attached. So if they didn't provide it, they could have been trying to conceal it from the court, conceal it from the public so that she could control the narrative, which would be bad, or it could literally be they just didn't do it. But I think the order is telling because in a way it's, very rarely have they not complied, right, with evidence or orders. And it's frequently been Blake pointing to Wayfair as the ones that are hiding and concealing or dumping all kinds of documents, 80,000 before something else is due. But now he's telling Blake, because really this is Blake's evidence. Yes, Wayfair has said unseal it, but Blake's relying on this evidence for her own motion. Liman expects her to comply. The file needs to appear. He's telling Blake, you told me you filed this. Now actually give it to me. I don't expect them to not comply here. I don't expect them to suddenly, you know, ignore a deadline. But if the audio still isn't produced by October 17th, what this could do is damage her motion. because the court can't rely on evidence that isn't in the record. And a missing exhibit can make a sworn declaration incomplete and even misleading. And when lawyers submit filings that misstate what's attached, a judge can actually impose sanctions for violating Rule 11, which prohibits false or careless statements to the court. So Blake is being called out not only for carelessness, but if she continues to not provide this, it's a credibility issue for her. Her motion relies on this evidence. The judge never saw it. Now it's unsealed, and the public has a right to see it too. And if they don't provide it soon, they risk the court questioning whether that recording ever supported her story in the first place. She was fighting tooth and nail to not allow this recording to be unsealed. She wanted it to remain confidential. So now the question will be, is she going to continue to move forward and allow it to be unsealed? Is she going to provide it to the court? Because if she doesn't, she would almost have to withdraw that declaration and withdraw her motion for sanctions. So it's either you comply or you withdraw the entire motion. I think what it really demonstrates to me is a broader pattern of Blake. And that pattern is using the public docket to write a narrative through court filings about how she views Baldoni, Sarowitz, Heath, and Wayfair, right? And she's often accused Wayfair of filing motions or responding in ways that are only to inflame the public. But in this case, that audio recording was used not only in her second amended complaint, but also now this motion for for damages under 47.1. And if they comply, and if it comes out, and if the audio shows that what she is depicting in that audio is not the whole story, and say there's a much larger conversation around this, and say within this conversation, we learn the influence that Blake is having over other people, or if Claire is the one that brings up Blake, right? Maybe it's Claire that brings up Blake. Maybe Claire's the one that recorded this for Blake, right? There's so many questions about why this was recorded. I know she says it's because she was concerned that he would pressure her, but fear of being pressured by an executive isn't a reason or a defense in the face of the court. Like if it's illegal, it is illegal. And if you have concerns that you will be pressured, the best way to alleviate those concerns is to have someone else in the conversation with you, have a witness with you, bring a representative with you, have an agent with you or your manager with you. Bring a neutral third party to mediate the conversation, right? You don't record a conversation without telling someone. At least not where I live. You know, I live in a single party consent state, and I also work in the business of speaking to sources. And one of the big things that you are supposed to tell anyone, legal or not legal, either whether or not you're in a first or a second one or two party consent, the ethical thing to do is to tell the other party that you are recording and documenting the conversation. What appears has been done here is that whatever happened happened, and the implication is that he would pressure her, but she makes no mention in her declaration that he actually did pressure her. She makes no mention that there were threats to her about Claire. And if she's coming to him and saying, well, I have concerns about being around Justin because of what I'm hearing about Blake, and then he's telling a side of the story that's different than what she's heard, does that change the narrative for Blake? There's a lot here. And I think that's why with Wayfair, their pattern of behavior is to release all the evidence. Don't just show me a cherry-picked portion of a document. Don't just show me a cherry-picked sentence in a string of 13 texts. You can take a sentence out of just about anything and turn it into something that it's not. I mean, I've seen people with my own reporting create videos of me talking, and it's not what I said at all. You can do just about anything with technology. I've had people create false text messages of things I've said and post them as though I said these things. So that's where transparency matters, because manipulation of audio, manipulation of Context, manipulation of substance have been a pattern in this case. So Blake has this, it's either an honest mistake, they provide it, they move on. If it wasn't, and it was actually intentionally withheld, it can unravel her entire motion because they can't rely on the evidence. So let's hope that they do the right thing. Let's hope that they provide the evidence to the court, and let's see how she responds. I'm sure they're going to say, "Oh, we were unaware that we did this." And that he's basically giving them that out right now. He is. He's giving them that out. A lot of scandal and like upheaval happened yesterday online. And now she has an opportunity to correct the record or withdraw the motion altogether. So what do you think she's going to do? Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, besties.